Hey fellas, just climbed out of the shower. My wife is off buying a gift for her grandson, my grandmother, my wife's mother-in-law, my suegra, uh, her grandson. There you go, her grandson, and so that's why she's not here, and she'll be there staying with my mother-in-law tomorrow. The smoker out. I'm gonna smoke a brisket. I'm gonna have a little bit of a fire. I got the hose right over there just in case anything goes on. But I want to talk to you about something that happened this morning from about 9:30 in the morning to about 3:30 this afternoon. And I'm going to try to title this Transition Depression. I got a call and I was asked to go and help out a guy I know who was been retired now from Fort Bliss after 30 years as an enlisted guy. Now he ended up being a command sergeant major in an infantry battalions, and he has all the ranger and all the HUA special forces and da 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 stuff. And evidently he was in some sort of now listen, when I say this, I'm just saying this because I have gone through this myself. When you have a disability like I have, PTSD, you can have moments, parts of your life where you're uncontrollable. You're raging at everybody. And this guy's quite a bit younger than I am. I think he's 40 something. And he's not adjusting well to being a regular human being. Being a command sergeant major in a battalion, that's like you're the top enlisted guy in there. Anyways. Although it's Fort Bliss with their sergeant majors running around all over the place, I have to pause. I have to blow my nose. One of the reasons they usually ask me to talk to these guys is because my transition was very fast. One minute I was on scrapping for my country, ate an IED, spent 18 months at Walter Reed, and then they were like, bye, go away, go figure out the rest of your life. I gotta blow my nose again, excuse me. So I got pushed off face first in it. So I decided that I'm gonna go back to Detroit where I grew up, and I started working at a transmission plant at 18.5 Mile. And then NAFTA went off, and they just had us come in one day and build a podium so they could all the bigwigs could get up there and tell us we're all fired and that they're moving all the plants to Mexico and overseas, including the big one that went first is called Delphi. It's a parts manufacturer. And it's still in work right across the border there in Juarez. I kind of grit my teeth so I had to deal with that, having a family, being homeless, dealing with being wounded, dealing with the fact that, to be honest with you, the only way you can take control of your life with PTSD, and I have also a kicker called depression, major depression. Sometimes I don't have that anymore, and I don't have it anymore. I still have PTSD, and I still, to be blunt, lose my shit every once in a while, and it's why there's a lot of times I just don't like being around a lot of people. Let me get back to the point. The point is, this sergeant major, former sergeant major, lost his shit, and when I got to him, he was a fucking chocolate mess. And I've done this a lot of times with guys who were very successful and then retired, and they feel like they don't matter anymore, and all that is your transitioning. And in order for you to have a smooth transition, I highly recommend you pick a date and time in your future when you want to call it quits, when you want to stop working and you want to walk away. That'll give you a goal. This is when my retirement starts, okay? Now, if you get hurt and that gets speeded up or slowed down, that's just the way things go, but you'll have a goal to be working at, and you'll be setting your mind to prepare yourself from going from having a very regulated day to, just being an average guy. I love being an average I cannot fucking tell you how much I love being an average guy. I just cannot tell you. So anyways, And he was throwing shit and throwing bottles and telling people fuck off. And it was wild, but it's something I've been there with. So, anyways, I finally got him to myself. Pushed everybody out of the room, sat him down, told him a little bit of my story, and he sat on the bed, at the end of his bed. And this was at a motel here, right down the street, not too far from us. And I tried to explain to him that he had to start transitioning. And that's okay when you're going through the process, because it doesn't really hit you till somebody that you don't know just accidentally bumps into you and tells you to fuck off. And you want to go over and kind of, do you know who I am? Oh. Anyway, so the one thing I can tell you is this is what I did to him today. And there are things that affect the quality of your life that may not make a lot of sense to you. I made him go take a shower. I made him go take a warm shower and then a hot shower, and then he finished it up cold, so it kind of gives you a cold heat and cold shock proteins. I don't know if that's true or not, but I believe it. It works for me. You get out of there and you're like, woo, I'm wide awake. He seemed okay, and then I took him out and we had a good meal. We didn't talk about any of that other shit, and all we started doing is planning for tomorrow. And after that, we did a 3-day plan. And then we did a 5 and a 7-day plan. And then after that, he told me I fucking get it. Stop fucking talking to me. And then I would say something like, well, you can't kick my ass. What are you talking about? Anyway. Just to get him to break the ice, I'd tell him, well, if you were actually good, you've been Sergeant Major of the Army. Hey, fuck you. That's just how military people talk to each other. But anyway, we ended up doing that. Shook his hand. And before he could get away, I gave him a hug. And I know that may not mean a lot to you as a younger man, but as you get older, sometimes a hug can help somebody. And I'm not talking about making eye contact and going like, hugging them like that. No, just fucking bro hug. Love you, man. Love you, man. And what I'll do is I always whisper in the ear, and I tell him, it's not gay if we don't make eye contact. That's from jiu-jitsu. So anyway, he laughed. I got him to laugh. I knew we were going to be okay as soon as we got him to laugh. And I'll be, if you don't hear from me all the time, or if you don't hear from me in a few days, I'm going to probably take him out. One of the things I recommend, if you're missing it a lot, is go around where you used to do PT and get that same feel, where the guys, all that kind of stuff. And how do you spell wimp? MP. Can't spell wimp without MP. Here we go. Anyways, all that kind of stuff. So give him a little taste of that. And I think the hardest part of him is he's struggling to get a job. Now, before AI, he would be a mid-level manager at a big company, but they don't need him. And next time I see him, we're going to have a talk about the trades. Maybe managing a site. Maybe being on a line company. And the other thing we'll have to have a talk about after the intervention's over, is how you got to talk to people when you're out of the military. Because you can't do that stuff in the civilian world. Anyway, so... What? Okay, hang on. We got a drama queen here. What?